Alright, so it's time to work on the front of the guitar. Now that I've kind of figured out how to do the back, now I can do the same sort of thing I did, but on the front. I wanted to start on the back first, just in case I needed to, redo things, just to experiment with. Yeah, I don't know if you can see right here. I don't know if the lighting's right for this, but it's a nice blue, deep blue. I'm still going to put more coats of Tru-Oil just to seal it and get it all nice and smooth. But I figured now that the back is dry and ready, I'm going to go ahead and start with the front. And the first thing I'm going to do is just black the whole thing out. This is a mixture of Tru-Oil with black artist's oil paint. Tried to mix it in as well as I could. This way I can just dip this in and just start applying it. Now I just want as much coverage as I can here. The mixture of the Tru-Oil with the artist oil paints allows me to spread it on, get the color in, but also get the color sealed once it dries. And by the way, the body was sanded to 320 before applying this. You can see that you can still see the grain through this black. Never really going to get a solid black when spreading it like this, but I can keep adding more and more coats and it should darken up nice.
One eternity later.
Okay, so now the black is dry. As you can see, it's very coarse, but that's okay. I'm going to sand it down now. I'm using 320. I'm going to try to sand a little more in the middle, clear that up for the blue. Try to keep a little more on the edges if it sticks to get that darker edge. So here we go. Okay, sanded it all down, back up to 320 grit. Got rid of the big splotches of paint that had collected and dried. So now it's pretty smooth. Got some nice grain showing here. Tried to keep it darker towards the edges a little bit. And I might have to touch that up. I definitely will. But now I'm going to mix some blue with the Tru-Oil and do the blue layer. And see how that comes out. Here we go. Blue, blue, blue. That'll do it for the first coat, and we'll be back.
Tomorrow. Days later.
I've been working on the stain for a while now. I'm pretty solid with the colors. It looks pretty decent. This is the back. And now I'm in the process of just doing layers of Tru-Oil. Just to get that glossiness. I'm probably going to go semi-gloss if I can. I didn't pour fill, so you'll actually notice, you can see a little bit of the pores, but I'm going to keep adding more and more layers of Tru-Oil to minimize that a bit. And also, instead of steel wool, I've been using steel wool for this in between every other coat of Tru-Oil, just to kind of smooth it out, get all the lint off and stuff like that. But the problem with steel wool, and this is the 4.0 steel wool, this stuff, the problem with it is that it leaves a lot of little metal shavings everywhere. And I was using a magnet, a matte magnet underneath the guitar when I would use the steel wool to catch all those shavings, but it's really hard to control. They get everywhere. If I had the pickups installed already, I would not even open the steel wool bag, because they can really hurt the magnets inside the pickups. However, now after doing some research, talking to some people on some Facebook groups, looking up some stuff on YouTube, the better option rather than steel wool is Scotch-Brite pads. Now, Scotch-Brite, most people will know is those sponges with the hard surface that you can use to scrub pans and stuff like that. Well, they also make they make sanding specific Scotch-Brites, which are, you can get the ultra fine, which is what I got, for sanding, which is equivalent pretty much to the steel wool. The stuff I got actually came in this sort of packet. It's just a whole bunch of them sold as a set. And I just cut off a small piece here. And this is great for getting rid of all the lint in between coats and trying to get that smoother finish. And the best part is it doesn't leave a trace of anything. There's no little filings, there's no nothing. The only thing would be whatever you pull off the guitar. So I'm just going to do, I've already mostly done the front here, but I'm just going to show you. I'm literally just going with the grain. I'm hardly pressing down at all. I literally just want this to pick up any of the crud on top, and just kind of clean it up, smooth it out a little bit. There are some places I've noticed where some of the paint looks to be a little thicker. I hesitate to scrape too much here because I don't want to go through all the layers of Tru-Oil that I have, which I think I'm at about layer 7 at this point, and get to the paint and actually scrape away some of the color. But it's a lot easier to do with the Scotch-Brite pad. I'm going to put on another coat of Tru-Oil here. Just putting it on this shop cloth and just working it in. At this point, I want to try to keep it very even. Try not to leave streaks, because I want this to be level and even and all that jazz. So you have to keep looking at it at an angle with the light so that you can see if you missed any spots and where there might be streaks. Now these layers of Tru-Oil don't need to be very thick. They're thin layers that you just pile one on top of the other. So in the later layers, you really don't need to add a lot. Now I don't really have a rig or anything to hold this guitar up while I do the other side, so I really have to wait for this side to fully dry before I can flip it. Okay, now the waiting game.
One eternity later.
So we're on coat number 15 on the front of the guitar here. So this is the 15th coat of Tru-Oil, and I actually mixed some Tru-Oil with mineral spirits, which acts as a thinner. It'll allow it to dry faster as well. But I'm getting close to what I think should be the final coats. So I'm not sure how many coats ultimately I'm going to do, but I'm at 15 now, and it's looking pretty good. As you can see, there's definitely some orange peel effect, or you can actually see the texture of the wood. Part of that's because I didn't pore fill the wood, which would have given it a much smoother look. But also the streaks from applying the Tru-Oil cause those lines. And most of that will come out when this is fully cured, and I can Scotch Brite it a little bit, very lightly, and give it one last shine, maybe even buff it a little bit. So anyway, this is just showing you coat number 15, Tru-Oil mixed with mineral spirits. It helps also get it spread out a little more evenly because it's thinned out. I've noticed that Tru-Oil tends to get very sticky. If you don't put it on quickly, it starts to dry and get sticky, and that makes it very hard to spread around. So if you're still spreading while it's starting to get sticky, you're going to make a mess. So the mineral spirits help that tremendously. It allows you to thin the Tru-Oil and allow it to spread over the whole surface much quicker before it starts to set. So anyway, just an update. Coat number 15.